To note, we have 64 bills to hear. 15 of those measures will be eligible for a vote, and all of the remaining bills are suspense items. First off, we have a few housekeeping items. SB 1311 by Senator Glazer is still listed on the daily file, but will not be heard today. That measure will be sent to the floor pursuant to Senate Rule 28.8. We also have SB 1166, Senator Jackson, on the agenda as testimony only item. The bill is currently in suspense, but we're allowing additional comments because we inadvertently forgot to call the opposition testimony, so we'll do that. We will start off with the package of bills related to firearms, a special order of business. Many of these items meet the criteria for suspense, but we plan to consider motions to send them directly to the Senate floor. We have a very busy schedule and floor session at noon, so please, members, limit your testimony to the fiscal aspects of the bill. The bills all already have enjoyed a full policy briefing. I don't want to hear Second Amendment discussions and so forth. Stick strictly to the fiscal aspects of the bill. Sergeant, if you could please call our absent member. The first item that we have, we're going to take up during special order is SB 1235. Oh, let's establish quorum before we begin. Secretary, please call the roll.
Laura?
Here.
Laura here. Bates? Here. Bates here. Bell? Here. Bell here. Hill? Here. Hill here. McGuire? Here. McGuire here. Mendoza? Nielsen? Here. Nielsen here.
We have a quorum. We're going to begin, members, with a special order of business. The first item is SB 1235 by Senator DeLeon and SB 156 by Senator McCarthy. Senator DeLeon, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, colleagues, as well as Madam Vice Chair. Thank you for the opportunity to present Senate Bill 1235, which offers a comprehensive approach to the sale of ammunition to ensure that criminals and other dangerous individuals cannot purchase ammunition. I will be taking author's amendments to address concerns raised by the California Police Chiefs Association to increase the number of rounds that an individual can sell back to a vendor from 50, I should say, to 100 per month, and to allow law enforcement to receive direct shipment of ammunition from out-of-state vendors. As many of you know, I've been working on this issue for easily over a decade. I'm proud to be here with my colleague, our friend from the Assemblymember Kevin McCarthy, who was then a member of the City Council in Sacramento, who spearheaded one of the most innovative handgun ammunition regulations in the country back in the day. Also a big, strong supporter of AB 962. There have been several iterations of this measure, which with different implementation models and associated costs, including Senate Bill 53 from 2013, which would have required a fingerprint check to apply for ammunition purchase permit. I think it is safe that Senate Bill 1235 presents us with the best approach to regulate ammunition sales. Instead of requiring ammunition purchasers to apply for a permit with renewal requirements and considerable background fees, check fees, SB 1235 takes a practical, cost-effective approach by using existing firearm registration records to screen criminals from law-abiding citizens at the point of sale. Any registered gun owner will be able to buy ammunition without any additional steps. I think the measure is pretty straightforward. With that, out of respect to my colleagues on this committee, and thank you for the special order, I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you. Witnesses in support.
Amanda Wilcox. I'm here on behalf of the 27 California chapters of the Brady Campaign to Prevent Gun Violence. I've also been authorized to express the support of the Law Center to Prevent Gun Violence. Background checks for ammunition sales has been a long-term policy goal for our coalition in California. And this approach from Senator DeLeon and Assemblymember McCarty's proposals really streamlines that approach and uses existing databases in California. We need to realize the full benefit of these databases and can do so by using them to achieve the background check goals for ammunition. Regarding cost issues, I know you want to focus on that. I just want to point out that it is estimated in California that $20 billion is spent every year associated with gun violence. That's the aggregated costs. Hospital costs in California for 2013 was estimated to be $80,000 million, or not hospital, but medical costs. You know, my daughter was killed in a rampage shooting. When you're killed, we found out, It's a bargain. There was no medical costs. Of course, her life was priceless to us. So I find it very difficult to equate costs with loss of life. Obviously, I do. But I think you'll find with these measures moving today that many are fee-supported. DOJ has so many of these systems in place, or there's one-time cost to get this going, and clearly the benefits are huge, particularly for victims or survivors of victims of gun violence. I urge your support. Thank you.
Thank you. Additional witnesses in support.
On behalf of the City of Sacramento, as you know, we have an existing ordinance that's been very successful. We are strongly supportive of both of these bills and would hope that these move forward today.
Stuart Thomas on behalf of the California Medical Association in support. Thank you.
Thank you. Additional witnesses in support, please come forward.
All right, Jody Hicks with the California Academy of Family Physicians in support.
Thank you. Witnesses in opposition, please come forward.
John Lovell on behalf of the Association for LA County Deputy Sheriffs, LA Police Protective League, Riverside Sheriffs Association, and the LA County Professional Peace Officers Association. Our issue is keeping law enforcement out from under the aegis of the bills. We don't believe the bills should apply to active or honorably retired peace officers. That issue's addressed, and we're fine.
Thank you. These are witnesses in opposition. Please come forward. Go ahead.
Good morning, Chairman Lara, members of the committee. Kathy Lynch, representing the National Shooting Sports Foundation, Outdoor Sportsmen's Coalition, California Sportsmen's Lobby, and Safari Club International, and we're in strong opposition to this bill, with all due respect to the author. The issues of cost, I think that a couple of things need to be mentioned here. We just went through Budget Subcommittee, where we were talking about the Department of Justice's backlog in the armed prohibited persons category. That continues 3-4 years later to be an ongoing challenge for them. They have been using dealer record of sale money for that. It seems to us that we should be focusing on the criminal element, not the folks that are law-abiding citizens in this regard. The other issue is that you recently enacted long gun registration, which just went into effect, and we have yet to see any kind of audit or update, really, on the functioning of the database system. The country of Canada had numerous problems and had the long gun registration in for years and had much litigation and abandoned the program after a period of time. So we think that this bears a lot of consideration based on the fact that you're now adding more pressure to the database. Thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Craig DeLuz with Firearms Policy Coalition in opposition. First of all, I think it's important, once again, it's been noted by my colleague, currently these databases that we're talking about relying on have been noted time and time again to be more than fallible. We believe that, first of all, looking at this, the cost that is here, we do not believe will adequately address the problems with the existing databases, let alone to create an instant background check, which so far has not been able to be created for firearms. We're talking about many more transactions. And we're trying to figure out how exactly, if there's going to be many more transactions as compared to firearm sales, how this amount of money is in fact going to address that issue. The other thing that's not noted in here is potential civil rights litigation. As has been put into practice in Sacramento County, in essence, law enforcement has used these databases to basically, if someone fits the description and purchased ammunition of a particular caliber, they then become potential suspects and or at least subjects of investigation by law enforcement. Sac PD has admitted that they in fact do that. How many different avenues of litigation are going to be put in place as a result of law enforcement utilizing this practice, utilizing this database in order to go after individuals simply because they fit the description?
Mr. Chairman and members, Sam Paredes representing Gun Owners California. I'd like to bring up a couple of fiscal issues that are not considered here in the fiscal analysis. Number one, this bill would grandfather in all existing licensed firearms dealers as ammunition vendors. Therefore, they don't have to go through all of the fee process, and so they're grandfathered in. That is between 2,400 and 2,600 vendors in the state of California. They sell the vast majority of all ammunition in the state of California. So if you're looking at raising money from these ammunition vendors by exempting them or by grandfathering them, which I can see the logic in that, you're not going to get the fees in order to fund that aspect of this program. And finally, it's obvious that the authors, with all due respect, don't understand the nature of shooters and hunters in particular, or competitive shooters, who actually buy the vast majority of ammunition. Now, that means that you're going to have fewer people than is estimated in here by a long shot who are going to avail themselves of the $50 ammunition purchasing license, and they're going to buy the vast majority of ammunition. Therefore, the revenue that is projected here is grossly understated. Those are just plain facts that are known in the shooting world. That's an important factor that I think needs to be considered. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate your testimony and sticking to the fiscal aspects. Additional witnesses in opposition.
Yes, Roy Griffith on behalf of California Rifle and Pistol Association, a strong opposition, especially in light of the new lead ban in California. This is another bottleneck which is going to greatly restrict legal licensed hunters and sportsmen from obtaining ammunition.
Thank you.
Dan Reed with the National Rifle Association, in strong opposition, echoing that what was said before me. Thank you.
Thank you. Additional witnesses in opposition. Finance. Comments or questions from committee? Senator Bates.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. With all due respect, and certainly no discussion of the merits of the bill, it's just surprising that a bill, just by the committee analysis, has a $25 million price tag, that these are not going to suspense. After the governor's presentation on Friday regarding being very careful about the way we spend our resources that might be diminishing over the next few years, yeah, I don't understand the rush with these bills. I mean, I do believe they should go to suspense, and I'd like to make that motion and have an analysis so that the best of the lot in terms of what they're doing and the actual cost-effective is analyzed by our Department of Finance. So I did make a motion to move it to suspense.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. You know, we're trying to save money with this pending proposition that's out there, being able for us to craft legislation that we can actually work on in a deliberative process. We know we usually get stuck with some of the propositions and then have to live by the letter of that law, and so eventually costing us much more money. So with all due respect, I disagree. There is a motion to move to suspense. The chair is asking for a no vote. The vice chair is asking for a yes vote. Senator De Leon, would you like to close?
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Chair, as well as Madam Vice Chair. And I understand your concerns, and just to reiterate what the Chair of Appropriations just articulated. We're trying to be actually fiscally prudent and not be saddled with exorbitant costs that are beyond our control. As we know what the ballot initiative process is like, I think through this measure we can be much more fiscally prudent, and it can be a major cost saver to taxpayers, as opposed to what the end results have always historically been when it goes to the ballot, irrespective of the voters' wishes or irrespective of our wishes. We're saddled with many costs that are extremely exorbitant, and we have to find the resources. We do think this is a much more prudent way to go. Respect your comments, and with that, I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Senator De Leon. Again, members, there is a motion to move to suspense. I'm asking for a no vote. Vice Chair is asking for a yes vote. Secretary, please call the roll.
Laura?
No.
Laura, no. Bates?
Aye.
Bates, aye. Bell? Bell, no. Hill? No. Hill, no. McGuire? No. McGuire, no. Mendoza? Nielsen? Nielsen, aye.
Motion fails. At this time, the chair is recommending a do pass as amended to the Senate floor. Is there a motion? Senator McGuire makes a motion. It's a do pass amendment. Secretary, please call the roll.
Laura?
Aye.
Laura, aye. Bates?
No.
Bates, no. Bell? Bell, aye. Hill? Hill, aye. McGuire? McGuire, aye. Mendoza? Nielsen? Nielsen, no.
Thank you. Sir Dillon, we'll keep that item open to allow our absent member to to add on. Next, we have AB 156, which is, I believe, a similar bill by Senator McCarthy. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members, for allowing me to present this, and thanks again to the Pro Tem for allowing me to partner with him once again on efforts to reduce gun violence, focusing on ammunition sales. The first thing I'd like to do is accept the author's amendments, suggested analysis related to rounds of ammunition and orders from law enforcement.
Thank you.
And of course, I will focus on the fiscal issues of the bill, but just on a quick intro. After 10 years of state law, local ordinances, and court battles, this issue offers us finally a common sense solution, not reinventing the wheel, to come up with a sound program in California to regulate the sales of ammunition. And as was noted before, I had the opportunity to author a law here in our city of Sacramento almost 10 years ago, and it found that armed or prohibited persons and felons were purchasing ammunition at a great number. In our first 3 years, we found that over 300 individuals, prohibited people, purchased ammunition as part of this process. Over 256 felony charges were the follow-up. Over 200 firearms, 10,000 rounds of ammunition, 8 explosive devices, including a rocket launcher, were confiscated because of our law. We know firsthand that prohibited people, are purchasing firearms. And the fiscal issue of this bill is, as was noted by Pro Tem, this comes with a one-time $20 to $20 million price tag, as opposed to an annual $20 to $25 million price tag with the initiative on the ballot. Provides a modest up to $1 transaction fee for individuals purchasing ammunition to allow this measure to succeed. Again, this measure is supported by our Sacramento City Police Department. They know firsthand that this works here, and we need a statewide solution. Again, thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Thank you. Witnesses in support.
Amanda Wilcox, on behalf of the 27 California chapters of the Brady Campaign to Prevent Gun Violence. I'm also here on behalf of the Law Center to Prevent Gun Violence. As I indicated earlier, we're in strong support of background checks for ammunition sales, and this bill provides a streamlined approach using existing databases. The one other policy point is that this information on ammunition transactions, as the Assembly member indicated, provides a very valuable tool for finding who has illegal guns. That's something we need to address in our state, and again, the cost of gun violence in our state is astronomical, in my opinion, let alone the loss of life, and it makes sense to pass this measure. Thank you.
Thank you. Additional witnesses in support.
Good morning again. Kira Ross on behalf of the City of Sacramento. As we noted earlier, we have a very successful ordinance and would strongly support this bill.
Stuart Thomas on behalf of the California Medical Association in support.
Jody Hicks with the California Academy of Family Physicians in support.
Thank you. Go ahead. Oh, witnesses in opposition.
John Lovell, we're opposed unless amended. We believe that the measure should be amended to exempt active and honorably retired peace officers on behalf of the same organizations who I referenced in my previous testimony.
Thank you. Witnesses in opposition, please come forward.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Craig DeLuz with the Firearms Policy Coalition, reiterating our opposition as to the previous measure, and with all due respect to the Pro Tem's power of precognition, the initiative that is proposed to be on the ballot has not passed yet. It is not law. It is something that is being considered. To compare the cost of this as compared to something that is not law or that is not current law is something that this body would not consider if we were talking about two different measures, comparing them to one another. Therefore, I do believe that it would be inappropriate to use that as a comparison. The reality is this bill has exorbitant costs that have no evidence in fact as to how these systems have currently been implemented. Yes, we do not need to reinvent the wheel, but it does not make sense to then tie it to several other broken wheels. We oppose this measure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman and members, Sam Paredes representing Gun Owners of California. A couple of fiscal points. Number one, we assert that Anytime you make it more difficult for law-abiding citizens to avail themselves of firearms and ammunition, you are by definition going to have more victims. And the costs of criminal misuse of firearms will go up, and this time they will be added because it was made more difficult for law-abiding citizens to avail themselves of a means of protecting themselves. We have more and more sheriffs and even some chiefs of police in the state of California that have pointed out that because of budgetary constraints that they recommend that law-abiding citizens avail themselves of their rights to be able to defend themselves in their own home, their own businesses, and their own travels. The fiscal aspects here are immense. Right now, the dealer record of sales fund, which is the great on our side, we call it the cesspool, but it's a pool of funds where everything goes in there, and the legislature regularly pulls money out of there. They're called loans, which are never repaid. The amount of pressure that is placed, the fund supposedly has this much money, but after the legislature has taken the money to pay part of the budget or to borrow it to start other programs and stuff, the pressure is grossly unbalanced. And as has been pointed out by staff, I think appropriately and accurately, it is structurally jacked up, to put it in the vernacular, and we hope that you will take that into consideration. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. Kathy Lynch, representing the National Shooting Sports Foundation, Outdoor Sportsmen's Coalition, Safari Club International, and California Sportsmen's Lobby in strong opposition to this measure. Also, I'm not clear on your shipper amendment representing the manufacturers of ammunition. It's a little unclear how that's going to work for law enforcement as opposed to the general public, so we'll have to take a technical look at that as well. Again, this DROS account is a mess, and I think folks need to take a serious look at this. We should be having an audit of this account in light of what's going on with the database. Again, I want to reiterate, shouldn't be taken lightly. The country of Canada spent 12 years with long gun registration, same database, and California was proud that it could emulate that. They abandoned it because they had so many citizen lawsuits brought against it. Because if you make a data entry that's incorrect, you put a wrong name in there, it's triggering all kinds of citizens lawsuits. They had not factored that in their cost analysis, and it practically bankrupted them. That's why they abandoned it. I would urge you to take a very careful look at this from that perspective. The last thing I would like to say is that this is breathtaking, $25 million cost. If this is the Appropriations Committee, then I hope it can conduct its business in that fashion. But when you look at all these bills, you're piling on such a cost here. And the dealer record of sale is a cost that is supposed to be borne by the purchaser at the time, not to pay forward for new programs that are coming in. And then lastly, you need to also consider the impact on the resources of California. We have federal monies that come into the state, Pittman-Robertson money, due to the sale of ammunition and firearms. If you're going to be driving an underground, as I think this bill will do, we will be losing revenue that we get into our fish and wildlife, which this year I believe it's $26 million. Thank you.
Thank you. Additional witnesses in opposition.
Mr. Chairman, Dan Reed, on behalf of the National Rifle Association, we're in strong opposition. One thing that I don't think was mentioned is the NICS system can't be used for ammo. It can be used for firearm purchases. And so how we're going to balance that, is the state of California going to duplicate the system? I think that's something that's overlooked here and really needs to be considered. Also, this has been tried on the federal level and disbanded in the 80s. Thank you.
Thank you.
Roy Griffith on behalf of California Rifle and Pistol Association, strong opposition. Again, based on the additional costs, will be passed on to licensed sportsmen and recreational shooters. Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and members. Corey Salzillo here on behalf of the California State Sheriff's Association in opposition.
Thank you. Additional witnesses in opposition. Finance. Comments or questions from committee? Senator Bates.
Clarification, this bill is essentially the same as Pro Tem's bill. Why do we have two identical versions? I don't know the difference. Trying to read the bill while you're still.
Yeah, it is an identical bill, and my view is after 10 years of this issue, whatever opportunity that I find that we can find to bring a solution to this issue, I think is warranted. That's why there's two bills.
Senator McGuire.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. Just a quick question. So we heard from law enforcement some concerns in support of the Pro Tem's bill, some concerns with your version. Can you address those? Because I think wanted to be able to see how that's going to be able to be worked out.
Sure. We think in the current version of the bill, not the amendments we took today, addresses the issue that Mr. Lovell raised, which is exempts law enforcement officers. We'll certainly go back with them and go over the bill line by line and articulate that issue. If not, we could certainly have one more bite of the apple potentially before we take it up on the floor.
Great. I think that being able to sit down with them is going to be important. Obviously, we'll be supportive here today, but would hope that you're going to be sitting back down to ensure that law enforcement is there.
Thank you. Senator Nielsen.
Mr. Chairman, this is a similar issue of the former bill, and due respect, and this is not to the position that I oppose the bill, but it's unreasonable to expect that this cost would not far exceed the threshold of suspense. And having been around for the original suspense calendar, why we put it into effect, the state Senate, many years ago, that was to assess the cumulative state of our budget and not pass bills out that would put us into financial difficulty. And not just individual bills, but the cumulative impact. Now we've got many, many bills moving along here, just in this, if you will, package. And there's no way we're not going to put an impact on our budget, which is still in precarious state. And I think that that's unreasonable. And I think there is no question that a year from now, an audit would show that the cost of preparing this database and maintaining it will far exceed what our threshold is here today. We must be mindful of that. I therefore would move that this would be placed on suspense. We do not have any crushing rush to move this bill along, so that would be my motion.
Is that a motion? Thank you. Senator Nielsen, I appreciate your perspective and I respect it. However, I disagree. We're going to, Senator Nielsen is, Senator McCarthy, would you like to close? Assembly member.
Okay, thanks for the promotion. Thank you. Again, I just want to... Be
careful what you ask for.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate, this is a one-time cost, and this is something that frankly is after all these years working on this issue, it is the best approach. And as far as the database, there won't be any new cost because it uses the existing databases. That's the point. We don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ask for your aye vote.
Senator Nielsen is asking for an aye vote. The chair is asking for a no vote. Secretary, please call the roll. The motion, Senator Nielsen's motion is to move the bill to suspense. Chair is asking for a no vote. Senator Nielsen asking for an aye vote. Secretary, please call the roll.
Laura?
No.
Laura, no. Bates? Bates, aye. Bell? Bell, no. Hill? Hill, no. McGuire? McGuire, no. Mendoza? Nielsen? Nielsen, aye.
Motion fails. I will now entertain a motion to move, do pass as amended. Secretary, please call the roll.
Laura?
Aye.
Laura, aye. Bates? Bates, no. Bell? Bell, aye. Hill? Hill, aye. McGuire? McGuire, aye. Mendoza? Nielsen?
No.
Nielsen, no.
Thank you. Senator McCarthy will keep the roll open to allow our absent member to add on. Thank you.